Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your Rune Elemental reading for the week of August 31st through September 6th. Can you believe it's already September? These are general readings, so take what works for you, leave the rest for someone else. If you're interested as to why I read for the runes, or the elements versus the zodiac, there's a video linked in the description, and there's also a natal interpretation chart. If you've never had your charts read, those are kind of fun because it shows you your base 12 houses, and then all the little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page report that comes with it that basically goes over what all that means, and there's also a section in there that's your elemental alignment, so it can give you a little more insight into where you're at for your elements. We'll start off with the elemental energy of fire. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you are Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or have fire high up in your chart, this is for you. And fire, we're starting you off with, well, this isn't great for fire. It is the Isa rune, the rune of ice. Color is black, tarot association is the hermit, and astrology is the moon. This generally in my associations is with water, so this could be an interesting week for fire. This is a rune denoting some kind of obstacle. There's a coldness between people, lack of passion, and a time to observe, keep silent. Refrain from comment or action. So this is a really good time, fire, to maybe do a little more introspection. This particular rune, when it pops up, especially since it's tied to the hermit, is saying this is not a week for high socialization. This is a week to kind of pull away, do a little recovery, do a little checking in with yourself and with your inner circle. But they're really wanting you to not to make big decisions, is what I keep getting this impression. Like, this is a week that you get to discover something that you may not understand or that you may not have been aware of in the first place. So keep your eyes open this week. Your second rune is the Manaz rune, which is the rune of man, and its color is deep red. Tarot association is the magician. Astrology is Jupiter. This is humankind, wisdom held in the body, the mind and body working as one, knowledge, memory, interdependence of the masculine and feminine within. I also see a lot of air energy with this rune, and so you've got the magician as the tarot, so it's saying that you have tools to work with. This isn't like you're going out and not having the ability, but when you tie this into Isa, it's really saying the tools that are going to be the most effective this week are the ones that work inside. This is not the energy I'm getting off of this is really saying this is not an outward action week for fire. This is an inward action week. So this is a good time to maybe work on some meditation, maybe take a little bit of a break. Instead of doing a bunch of social things, they're saying this is a good week to kind of stay more of a homebody, stay with your partner, with the munchkins, really enjoy who you are in those quiet periods. They're saying that this is not a good week for a lot of excess. This is a time for just quiet contemplation, seeing where things are going, seeing where you're at, and they're really wanting to, this energy keeps coming up to check in. So I don't know if that's checking in with your spouse, checking in with yourself. If you are one of those workaholic fires, especially Leo, that would indicate that it's a good idea to take a pause, that you're missing something that's going on. So see how that resonates for you. And now we'll hop over to our Earth family, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And you, Earth family, are starting with... if I can find the rune. I don't have these all memorized, I'm sorry. There it is. Othila, which is the ancestral property rune. Color is yellow. Tarot association is the moon. So this is working with some water energy. And the astrology is the full moon. It's a possession or inheritance, real property, but it also indicates inherited abilities or traits. So Earth, if you are someone who has a little more intuitive guidance, one of those little inner shinings, if you will. This is a good time for that energy to be practiced, expanded, and brought into the light of day. This is also saying that could be something that has physically been inherited down to you is going to show up this week, or it could be Earth. I'm really getting a strong vibe that there is somebody from the past, family member who's passed over specifically, that is coming forward. I'm seeing feminine energy with this. So you might notice that you have this dream of a family member who's passed, grandma, aunt, something like that. Or it could be someone who is a deep friend who is older, who happened to be passed over. But this week they're coming forward. They want you to remember them. By as long as you can remember them, they're actually in a form of immortality. And so as long as you can hold those memories, so this is really saying this is a good week for remembrance. It could be some physical inheritance as well, but the indication I keep getting is this is going to be something that is more subtle than that. So your second rune is the Inga's rune, which is a rune of fertility. Color is yellow. Tarot association is judgment. It's interesting, you both have yellow for both your runes, Earth, and that's not your color, it's air's color, which is your opposite. So tarot association is judgment, astrology is the new moon. Still working with the water energy though. Completion of ideas or projects signifies new beginning, a time of positive energies and good fortune. Whatever is coming with Othila, this bonding energy, this energy from the past, something that is being inherited down or being brought back to the present, what they're wanting you to understand is this is a divine opportunity. This is a time where you get to decide, how did that relationship work? And remember the best parts of it. That doesn't mean to negate if there was negative there. It's just to remember the positive, because in most cases, there's a balance of positive and negative in most relationships, and that's what they're wanting to bring forward. I'm also getting this image of like a young baby specifically that has the old soul energy, and they're saying that if this happens to align for whoever's watching, old soul is going to be like, man, that baby has got my grandma's eyes, or there's something about them that reminds you back to the past. So there's that type of energy coming in as well. Earth, this looks like it's going to be an interesting week for you, because you've got that interesting dynamic of remembering the past, fertile for the future, and bringing things into alignment and balance. So see how that plays out this week, Earth, because it's definitely going to be an interesting week. Let's hop over to air, covering Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, we're starting you off with the Iowaz rune, which is the rune of the horse. Color is white. Tarot association is the lovers. Astrology is Gemini. So air, this is tying into you. Travel, change, new jobs, new home, spiritual journeys, and movement. So air, this is a swift moving rune, so to speak. So something is shifting. There's going to be some movement. Now, they're not even this is unusual. Usually I'm seeing spiritual movement here. This one, what's being brought forward is there's something going on where you are physically moving around. It could be moving it from the house. You could be signing the papers this week. There could be something happening with a vehicle that's positive. They really want to emphasize this is a positive change. Or it could be that promotion that you've been kind of poking at and not really sure whether you should put your name in. This is the time you're going to get the answer you're looking for. And it's the answer of what is best and aligned for your soul. So there is still that spiritual part, but they're saying the action that is going to be taken this week is definitely in a physical sense. So let's see what your second rune is. Oh, good grief. Air, go buy a lottery ticket. Because you have Gibo, which is the rune of blessings and generosity. Color is deep blue. Tarot association is the lovers. Astrology is Pisces. So this works with your water energy as well. It's a sign of gifts, generosity, and giving, people coming together, relationships becoming deeper. The movement could also be your relationship. You might be proposed to this week, or there could be a new young one on the way, but this Iowaz energy with Gibo is really saying this is a time of positive changes. This is a time where things you've been working towards or working for are lining up to put you in the receptive state. So this week is a time to really tap into your gratitude energy and really be thankful, even if it's for little things in your life. It doesn't matter how nice or how neutral the situation is. If you're showing gratitude, the universe is going to open up even more, and that's the energy that's coming forward, because you've got the Lovers and for both of these cards, or both of these runes, it's the Lovers is your tarot. And astrology, Pisces and Gemini, you're the twins, both of you are. So this is where you're getting into this duality energy of you're flowing in balance, you're flowing in harmony with your partner, or it could be that your partner is about to take your relationship deeper. But you've got a really positive vibe going on here, Air, and honestly, I want to stay in this energy because it's such a beautiful energy. So really enjoy this week, play with the energy as it pops up and comes forward, and see what moves, see what shifts are happening, because there's definitely some positivity of things you've been trying for or working towards, and they keep going back to there is something that is coming in that is a surprise. It's like that promotion that you kind of been thinking about. There's going to be an answer that comes in. It could be that you get proposed to, and it's interesting. They're not saying you're doing the work this week. It's other people pouring things to you this week. So really embrace that. And again, that gratitude energy is just going to be amazing for you. So let's hop over to our last elemental energy, which is water. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all of our fishies out there. Let's take a peek at your first rune, which is the Uraz rune. Colors dark green, tarot association is the High Priestess, and astrology is Taurus. So this is working with some foundational energy for you. Creative power, wisdom, and knowledge, good fortune, opportunity, and water, you're the only one this week that got this one. There's some amorous energy coming in, a little more lower sacral chakra energy, getting that flames popped up there. But what I'm also getting is with the High Priestess coming in, this is an aspect of the feminine, so a little bit of those feminine charms, but I'm also seeing this is a really good time for good luck and prosperity. Taurus is working with the house and the home, so you're setting a foundation this week. Or if you've already had a foundation, it's basically making sure everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be. So you've really got a good, strong, stable energy, old reliable type energy is what I'm hearing. So water, this is going to be a nice, quiet so far week. We'll see what your second rune is, but they're saying it's because your foundation is stable and your foundation is set, and that's what's holding, basically keeping you upright. They're saying there's some chaos going on, but your foundation is strong. So your second rune is the Perth rune, the rune of fate. Color is black, tarot association is the Wheel of Fortune, astrology is Saturn, so you've got some divine masculine energy coming in. And with Saturn, it's always that stern father figure. It's not angry or hateful. It's the stern part where maybe there's some discipline that needs to come in, but it's out of whatever happens is being done out of love and compassion. So this is not a rune to be afraid of. It's just a rune to be aware of. Mystery, chance, unexpected material gain, surprise, hidden things coming to light. So water, this is an interesting combination because you have Uraz bringing in this creative energy, this High Priestess and Taurus, good foundational, getting messages from the more subtle energies. The High Priestess is the voice of the Mother Goddess on the planet, but you also have Perth, which is the tool of fate. Saturn is the leader of fate. Could also be seen a little bit as Kronos, not quite as crazy, but you still have this stern father figure coming forward. So your creativity and your wisdom and all your knowledge that you've gained, water, is going to serve you very well, because the father figure, this divine masculine energy that's coming in, is saying there are things going on behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. The fate energy is saying what is coming is something that you can't really stop, but you can find a very interesting way of making sure it turns out the best possible resource for you. So water, this is a good time to flex those creative muscles, really tap into that lunar deep heart of the ocean energy that you carry, and see what kind of force for change you can actually be. But they're saying this is a positive shift. Now, if you happen to veer off that positive, that's where Saturn's going to come in and be like, no, you are fated for something better than this. What are you doing? So you might get a little bit of that redirection that goes on this week, but it's definitely working in a positive sense. The High Priestess energy, pay attention to the more subtle aspects, those little intuitive niggles at the back of your neck where you're like, what was that? What am I supposed to be doing? Those gut instinct type things, because that's how the universe communicates with us, especially when we're starting off on our path. As we get going, you'll start to develop an almost verbal relationship with your guides and guardians, because you are able to hear them or see them or intuit them to such a strong extent that things can shift pretty quickly at those points. So this week is all about really tapping into that energy for our water family. Overall, for all signs, or all elements, you guys have a really fun week. Earth is a little bit of the challenge, but it's not negative. It's more of understanding what's coming. And fire, with the Isa rune, yeah, there's going to be some struggles, but it's because you're looking in, and when you do that, you're reflecting back out. So you're actually allowing yourself the time to recover and then shift some big things going on. Overall, everyone looks like they're going to have a pretty good week. There's going to be a little bit of push and pull, a little bit of, back and forth, but everything that happens this week, from what I'm getting, and this is, general readings here, but what I'm getting is this week is going to be a week of testing your mettle. It's going to say, are you ready for the next steps? There could be some great things that just fall into place, There also could be a little bit of challenge that goes on, but the challenges are not to discipline. They are here to test you. So see how you weather the tests this week and see how things turn out. With that, I will let you guys and gals go and see you in the next video.